Welcome on in, everyone. We are back, the cousins. This is Beer Talk with Kyle and Joe. I'm Kyle.
And what's going on, guys? I'm Joe, and today we have a very interesting video for you as we are going to cover stereotypes about having a beard, as well as the negative perceptions that come with them and how you should handle them when you're out in the real world. So, Kyle, what do you think of this topic right off the bat?
I think it's fun. I think it's something everyone thinks about when they start growing out a beard. While you're growing out a beard, there's that awkward phase that everyone goes through where you can't, you're not at the length you want it to be. So it doesn't look the way you want it to look. I've heard people say you look homeless, just different things. You look dirty, just different things like that.
Right. Right. And there's even professional sports teams that have put rules in place of not wanting their players or their staff personnel,
Right.
not wanting any sort of facial hair or long hair. And the problem that I have with that is I believe that every human being has a right to express themselves. You see that in the Constitution, as long as it's done appropriately and all that kind of stuff. And yet, you get negative feedback for just trying to grow a beard or long hair or anything like that. So these are the things that, we really want to cover in this video. And we'll definitely talk about that here shortly. But if you have not done so, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you're not missing any of our future content. And of course, if you really like what you see, share with your bearded brothers or sisters, just so we can make sure that we're not only hitting your beard, but all the beards that we possibly can. So hang tight after this intro, and we'll be right back. All right, guys. So let's talk about some of these negative perceptions. So, starting off with, as Kyle mentioned before, being accused of being homeless or poor just because you have a beard. Now, this is probably the most insulting bit of feedback that you can get. When you look at certain individuals, especially within the bearded community, the majority of the guys like to keep a well put together beard. And so, therefore, when they're going to work, when they're going to special occasions, they still feel like they're dressed appropriately, they're ready to roll, and that it just brings a unique sense of swagger to them. And just what me and Kyle have talked about in the past, having a beard has brought a whole bunch of self-confidence and self-worth towards us.
Right.
What do you think of that specific perception when you hear something like that? And have
Yeah.
you ever been accused of being homeless or something like that?
Yeah, so I personally really never have outside of when I was first just really growing my beard out and I was in that awkward phase, like I mentioned earlier in the video. But once I got past that, the thing that I really like is, a lot of people would say, man, your beard really looks put together. I like how your beard just sits right down and looks shiny, things like that. So what really helped me is obviously taking care of my beard, making sure it looks good, making sure it's trimmed, making sure I always have beard oil or any product in there. Um, really makes a huge difference. And then also for, some people that are close to me is I share my passion. I would talk about some of the things I've learned about beards, about beard product with my friends and family. And, it's just amazing how much support you get by doing things like that.
Mhm. Right, man. And I totally agree with you on that. I've never personally been called homeless before, but I've definitely seen and have heard, that perception, being made towards men with, like, especially long beards. You get that perception of being lazy and just not wanting to care for yourself, when on the contrary, as you can see behind us, we have so many beard products and oils to help take care of our beards, to make sure that they're maintained appropriately and that they're well kept for any sort of occasion, whatsoever. So another perception is that you won't be able to get hired at a certain type of jobs because you have a beard. specifically probably those white collar office type jobs. As we even mentioned in the opening, there have been some professional sports teams that did not want their employees or their players having beards or any sort of facial hair whatsoever. Now, that is just absolutely crazy to me. We're talking about grown men who are professional athletes and who play because of their skills of that specific sport. And yet they're still being told what they can and can't have on their face, which is just completely baffling to me. And so when I know that I'm going to like a job interview or some kind of meeting at work, I'm relying on my actual work skills to do the talking for me. I don't need somebody judging me by how I look just because I have a beard on my face
Mm-hmm.
to determine how good of an employee that I actually am. Fortunately for me and Kyle, we don't have that issue. We actually have two jobs that have many employees that have actually really enjoy talking to us about our beards and how we keep them,
Yep.
asking us advice and things like that. So if you're ever in a situation where where you're worried about how a job may feel about your beard, again, just focus on making sure that your beard is well maintained and wear that beard with a sense of confidence. And don't be afraid to explain your backstory on why having a beard makes you feel the way that it does.
Mm-hmm.
There's a story behind every beard out there. We've talked about our beard specifically. My beard brings a whole new sense of confidence in me and a bunch of self-worth that before I had a beard that I just simply didn't have. And that is a story that I don't mind sharing and really opening the eyes of people when they're wondering why I keep a beard the way that I do.
Right. Yeah. So, guys, this is a really kind of cool, kind of fun topic. And I think this one, if you either admit it or not, affects everyone differently.
Mhm.
I ask of you today, guys, is go ahead and share your story, share some of your insecurities, things like that. If you're comfortable doing so, go ahead and in the comments, and hopefully you'll be able to help a future or current beardsman going through some of the different things that you went through, hopefully to help them and encourage them and help them get through some of those different type of things.
All right.
All right, guys. Joe, anything else before we sign off here?
No, man. I think this was just a fun little video, and just it's going to serve as a really good reminder to just enjoy the growing experience. Don't let
Mhm.
anybody interfere with that.
Right.
I understand that people rely on jobs, they have to make a living and things like that. But seriously, don't let somebody dictate how you should be as an individual. If you want to be a strong bearded man, be a strong bearded man and grow a beard out and enjoy the ride. And again, don't be afraid to share that story, why you have that beard on your face.
Right. Well said. All right, guys, that's all the time that we have for you today. But as always, keep it growing.
And we'll talk to you at the next one. Cousins out.